Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. All right, so LeBron wants to stay with the Lakers, wants to help with their goals in regards to Luka. Brian Windhorst is reporting that something along those lines. Essentially, LeBron wants to be remembered as a Laker legend, and he wants to help the team mentor Luka Doncic and help him with his goals for himself, whatever they may be. Um, I think this is going to work because these are two genius basketball players, and they're so big that the people who are going to be trying to guard them are going to have a hard time guarding them. That's what it really comes down to. I don't think we've seen a dynamic like this too often, where you have two 6'8", 6'10" dudes, 270, both of them, that are supercomputers, basically, as people call it. I'm still not for somebody else. But, like, that's what their brains are. I think this is going to work phenomenally so long as we surround them with pieces that can do the things that they cannot do. LeBron and Luka not going to defend very well. I'd imagine LeBron James is a much more effective defender than Luka. I ain't watched a whole lot of Luka, but I've seen enough of him to know he can't defend worth a damn. But that doesn't mean his best defense can't be his offense. There's been many great superstars that have won championships that are not good defenders, but excellent offensive talents that make other people better. And my favorite style of ball is the type of ball that makes people better, as I've recently talked about, which is why this is such a treat for me, personally. As a Laker fan, I am relishing in the idea of having multiple playmakers. And it's almost sweet irony because we made a whole conversation about this after we moved on from D'Lo, of how ball would be boring for me. Watching Laker ball would literally be boring for me because there wouldn't be any ball movement in theory. And now they bring me literally the best passer, not named Jokic, to LeBron, who's also one of the best passers literally of all time. And it's like now I got Austin Reeves as well, who's turning out to be one of those fantastic facilitators, likely a triple-double threat from here on out because he can get double-digit rebounds and assists any night, and he's going to look for his shot. I love it. I'm worried about all three of them being on the same team defensively, but offensively, I think we could be a top 5 offense as long as those three people are on the same team at the same time. I want people to know that I do think we need a center, and I do think that trading Austin Reeves probably gives us the highest quality center. But I also want people to know that if I can get away with not trading Austin Reeves and keeping him, Luka, and LeBron on the same team, especially since Austin's contract is so cheap, I think that trio, if built properly around, can win a championship. But you have to get them the players that can do the things that they cannot do. And given the fact that all three of them are poor defenders, it's dangerous trying to build that way, especially with what it is that we don't have. But if you can find a way, and it's going to take some time. That's another thing. I don't know how long Bron wants to play. I think it may take 2 or 3 years to get those pieces. Austin and Luka, they're on the timeline. Those are 26-year-old, 25-year-olds. They on the timeline. Bron, not so much. And I don't know that I love the dynamic without LeBron James. Luka and Austin are supercomputers themselves. Austin is turning into one. And Luka can, I separate Luka from this conversation. Luka's a great champion level player no matter what. But I think the dynamic that makes this special is the fact that LeBron James is in place, being unbelievably swift at driving at the rim and getting easy buckets and getting to the lane and making plays off of people. You don't have that. Suddenly, put it like this, Austin and Luka isn't as exciting to me as Austin, Luka, and LeBron. And I know that sounds like, of course, duh. But what I'm saying is, if I'm building with this in mind, I don't necessarily need my shooting guard to be Austin with Luka as my point guard. I don't need that. But if I have LeBron James in that same rotation, now I got something ridiculous in regards to my passing and the plays that can be run and the pick and roll type of stuff. It just becomes absolutely impossible. And that's why I want to see what it looks like if we keep Austin, even though I do also want to see what it looks like when we trade Austin for the pieces that we need. So it's like I'm split 50-50, but I do think that the ceiling of this team, if properly built around Austin, Bron, and Luka in the short term could potentially be a championship level team. I do believe that. But you're going to need to get your Jared Allen, your your Evan Mobley, and essentially keep Vando, keep Dorian, and I just don't think we have enough to build all that. We can't build something that's absolutely perfect for them. It would have been great if we kept Max Christie, though. I'm to be honest with you. The more I look at this situation, the more I feel like, damn, Max really would be great in this situation. So, yeah, I'm loving the idea of it. I do think that Dalton Knecht is potentially, at his best, absolutely the type of running mate I want with Luka Doncic. But while he's developing, may be a little behind schedule on his development and may be able to net me something that I need. On his rookie contract, he may be able to get me a better piece of the same age on a rookie contract. So if let's say I swap him for another player his age, maybe that's probably better for my short-term situation to fill a void. Because what he is another offensive player that can't defend. Can't have too many of those. Rui, Dalton, Luka. Now you got too much bad defense in one place. There's a lot of good things that come from that, but you got too much bad defense in one place, and it's just going to cap off your ceiling in the short term trying to win with LeBron's short window. But this isn't impossible. This isn't impossible. You just have to be willing to give up something. So are you going to give up Austin Reeves? With his contract, I'm leaning toward him not being the something to give up. Because his contract's just too sweet as it pertains to, okay, now if I play the free agent market, let's say I get myself an expiring Clint Capella this season, and he comes off the books, assuming all things are equal and I'm able to use $20 million in the free agency market, I may be able to get myself something that I really need for this team. I'm more likely to move on from Rui, but I also understand that Rui is a hell of a scoring force that could be utilized just like Dalton Knecht for all of those passers. So it becomes a situation where it's like, do I just move forward with what I have? The problem is we're so deficient at the center position that we can't afford to. We have to give up something to get ourselves a center that's quality enough so that you compete in the playoffs. And the guys that we're rumored to be after, I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they're good enough. Mitchell Robinson, he never plays more than 30 games. Robert Williams, same thing. Jonas Valanciunas, I wasn't impressed, and I don't think anybody else was recently when we saw the Wizards. Clint Capella, I think is probably the best bet for me, within reason. Obviously, I'd rather have better, but he seems with reason. He seems within reason. Now, if somehow I can get Nicholas Claxton from the Brooklyn Nets for Rui and a second rounder or something like that, I think I'd probably pull the trigger on that. Nicholas Claxton, I think, is making $20 million for the next 3 years. He's also 25, which is really attractive in terms of the age and the lineup with all Luka Doncic, the timeline. So if I'm trying to do anything at this point to fill my center position, I'm probably looking to try to get either Clint Capella expiring with intentions of re-signing him at a much cheaper price this summer, or Nick Claxton at $20 million or whatever that is. And if I can do that within the next couple of days, that's a win for me. If not, then Robert Williams would be the next guy. I don't believe in Robert Williams' health, but he's also only 28, 27 years old. I do think that he's going to play about 30 games a season, though, and that is what scares me about Robert. But make no mistake about it. Even though he's not what he used to be, he may still be enough for our center position in the short term, but I'm going to need somebody to step in front of him come next season. So how do we get that piece? Because if you're expecting Robert Williams to be a starting center from here on out, you're a fool. You can get away with trying to plug him in to make sure you're not deficient with your rim protection for the rest of the season. But if he's your long-term starting center, you ain't doing your job. You got to do better than that. You have to. I'm plugging him in with the intention of him being on a short-term situation, and I don't expect much. So that's the problem with Robert Williams. At this point, I'm much higher on bringing him in than I ever was, because now that I don't have AD, I need my rim protection. I need it more than ever, and he's probably the best rim protector of those people. In fact, he's undoubtedly the best rim protector of those people. But how much of Robert Williams am I getting? He definitely ain't that Celtics Robert Williams. They ran him to the ground, playing him on bum knee and all of that stuff. So it's like I feel like I'm getting an aging Robert Williams. But the problem with that is he's older. I mean, he's younger. He's not an older guy. He's only like 27, 28 years old himself. So he's going to, at some point in time, if he doesn't fall off a cliff with his conditioning, maybe even be able to work his way back into good shape. And that's what I really think of him. I think that now that I know he's not in his 30s, for which I thought he was, I think it's a decent chance that you may be able to get Robert Williams here, try to get a healthy season out of him, change his conditioning, change his stretching regimen, and may be able to stretch him into becoming a durable-ish player. I saw it happen with some guys in the past who started their careers off extremely injury-prone, but shaked off some of those bad habits and cleared up some of those conditioning issues early enough to salvage their careers. And by the time they were 33, 34 years old, they were still as serviceable as they were when they were 28, 27, because they were in significantly better shape. And that's possible with a guy like Robert Williams because of his age. So I thought he was like 30, 31. That would have been it for me. But in his 20s, oh man, I don't know. Maybe I should try to use him as a project. But the problem is, I think this season should not be a high usage season for him, if that's the plan for him. I probably want to shut him down for the rest of the season as soon as I get him, and then get him on that regimen. I'm a firm believer in that, by the way, as you guys heard me say that about Luka as well. I believe in shutting people down and then putting them on a nutrition diet and a workout plan that has a lot of cardio and stretching and different stuff like that. I don't even want them on a basketball court. We can get them in basketball shape once they become conditioned better for basketball activity. And when you have a guy that's out of shape and he's had injury issues that keep on plaguing him, and you keep trying to throw him back on the basketball court, they're not in the type of conditioning they can get into if you shut them down and then put them on that dang program. I believe in that. I truly believe in that. And so that's what I think we should be doing if we get Robert Williams, and I just don't think we would be getting him here for that. But that's how you handle players like that. You don't send them back out on the basketball court as soon as they healed. You put them through a program that has them getting in ripped up shape. Then when they have the six-pack and all of this, then you send them back out there to get in basketball shape. And now you got a player that's likely to be able to not only be durable, but maybe even have the habits of getting back in shape if they go down again. Within reason. This is all in theory, because it doesn't always work like that for everybody's body. My mother said something back in the day that really stuck with me about basketball players and just players in general. A lot of our guys from the inner city, we didn't grow up eating right. We didn't grow up taking care of ourselves. We may have had a lot of talent, but we had habits of eating and substance patterns that ultimately made us not so healthy. So when you get in the NBA and you have to do 82-game schedules, your body can't keep up because you were talented enough to play at the level, but you were never durable enough to actually do so. And it was built upon those habits that you grew up with. And that's where the idea comes to me to say, yo, we got to put some of these guys through changes in their regimen. And a guy like Luka Doncic, he's still extremely young. He's only 25 years old. Some people don't start taking care of themselves until well after that. You know what I mean? So it's like he just needs to shake off the childishness in his habits. You know what I mean? Like literally. And start looking at what's possible for him if he takes care of himself. And want it bad enough. You can't make somebody want it, but you can show them what works. And I think he's in the right space. You're going to be next to LeBron James, brother. At this point, I mean, you it's hard not to get right when you got the king suggesting to you how to do it. You know it worked for him. He'd have made $1 billion off of this. And you think Luka Doncic can't make the same coins LeBron made? Of course he can. He can probably make more in some cases with his international draw. So I just think that the sky is the limit for Luka to Don. I think the Dallas Mavericks probably needed to give up on him for their own reasons, maybe. I don't know that I take that return for him, but it probably wasn't the place for him anymore. I do understand the idea that if they would have paid him $336 million, he would have had no incentive to change, and maybe he needed a change of scenery in order to do so. I don't disagree with the hypothesis of that. And I hope this is the right spot. I hope this is the right spot. I hope this can do that for him. LA is a fitness town. I mean, like it is. It's a vegan town. So like he's going to be around more people that are going to ultimately encourage the culture of taking care of yourself naturally if he just starts getting in these LA's Hollywood circles. He gonna be around people that are gonna be like, you're not juicing? Like that's coming for Luka. So yeah, that I don't know that that's the culture in Dallas. And that's my thing. I think Luka's going to enjoy his time in LA. Of course, the tax is going to be tough. You're going from no sales tax or no tax to big time tax. Cali tax is different. It's going to be rough on him. He's already taken a big pay cut, but he's wealthy. You know, I heard that he was buying a home in Dallas when this happened. Sorry to hear that, but a guy that wealthy doesn't necessarily need to sell his home just because he's not there no more. He doesn't have to. Guys like that have multiple homes any damn way all over the country in a lot of cases. So I think Luka's going to make so much money he could probably just hold on to that home without even thinking about it, really. And it could just be the home he goes to when he visits Dallas. So whatever he decides, man. When you're that wealthy, it doesn't matter that much. But at the same time, it's about him getting acclimated into Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure he's going to buy a home rather quickly here, if he didn't already have an LA home, which a lot of dudes got anyway. But, you know, I think Luka's going to like LA. He's played with J.J. Redick. He's played with half the damn team. A lot of these dudes are old Dallas Mavericks. Dorian Finney-Smith, Christian Wood, J.J. Redick was on a team with him. I think it was two other people, too, that have played with Luka Doncic. So I think him getting acclimated in LA is not going to be too difficult. He has good rapport with LeBron James. They like one another. So I think that could be a good thing for him getting acclimated into LA. So, yeah, that's the good thing about him coming to LA. There are a lot of people who kind of already know him. So it's not like he's going into a brand new situation that don't know nobody and everybody's heard this about you, that kind of thing. The presence of Dorian Finney-Smith, of course, the two guys he brought over, Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris. Markieff Morris is definitely going to help with that because Markieff Morris has played in both places. So Markieff can already tell him what it's like to win a championship in LA. He's probably already been talking to him about that type of thing. You know what I mean? So I think that really helped. I think the chemistry of our team could potentially be better after making this trade with so many guys being familiar with one another. You know? And so that's something that I think is underrated. I don't know that it's the same thing going on in Dallas. Dallas's chemistry might not be that great because there's a lot of people unhappy and there's going to be a lot of vitriol pointed at the team because of it. But LA, I think we're all excited about Luka coming in. I think on the court it could be very frustrating if we don't get some rim protection and some defense, though. I think it can get really, losing ruins all. Just like winning cures all, losing can ruin a lot. People start pointing fingers at each other for deficiencies that are natural to the construction of the team. That's something I would want to sit down and talk to my team about early. Like, look, we don't have certain things, so let's not point fingers at one another when we can't do certain things that our limitations simply are. And that's going to be on J.J. Redick to be honest with those guys and tell them, hey, we can't defend yet. Until Rob gets us some defenders, we done moved on from Max. We ain't going to be able to defend that well. We can't be getting pissed at each other because we can't defend. And that kind of thing, so. And look, Luka's young, man. He's young. So he may hiccup sometimes around in certain things. He may not necessarily handle everything right. He does tend to complain a little bit. He don't have the greatest habits with eating and drinking a little bit. I don't know if he's alcoholic, but from what I understand, he likes to party. He's a 25-year-old dude. I think he just went through something that could potentially send him in the right direction, but he also could have gone through something that just sent him into depression. So it's going to be a sensitive thing trying to manage him right now. It really is. He's used to being a Maverick. The fans are going crazy over him. It could be really depressing. Coming to LA is a different vibe. You know how our fans can be very fickle. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. It ain't the culture that Dallas is, where everything is about you and we love you and that's it. Now it's like, oh, what can you do for us? And so you're gonna have to get used to that. But just like most people who get close to Laker Nation, you find out that once you're somebody we love, you never stop being that. We're gonna cheer for Max Christie and AD when they come back for sure. That's happening. We are not mad at those guys in any way, shape, or form. I think they did great things for us, and we really care about them. And they're gonna be Lakers for life wherever they go for sure. So I think that's really what Bron is after. He wants that same love. I think he's already got it. But I think there are people who've been raised to be skeptical of LeBron, and so it's kind of difficult to shake that off. Literally raised to be skeptical. All the hate in the national media throughout the course of the last 20 years. It's kind of different. But Luka has a positive. He's left a positive impression on Laker Nation. That's what it is. We look at him as a very respectable opponent. He's gotten into it with some of our less liked opponents, like Devin Booker. A lot of Laker Nation ain't a big fan of the Phoenix Suns. He got into it with him, so it's like most people probably were on Luka's side when it came to that. So it's like he's got a leg up. He's got a leg up on some of the stuff as it pertains to getting himself acclimated in LA. Everybody's excited about him. We respect him. Many of us from the old school remember when he played a game against the Lakers when he was like 14 years old. I still remember that. When Kobe was on the floor out there and Lamar and them, he actually played in a game in LA, or I think it was against the Lakers. I don't remember where it was at, but we saw him. We watched him for 48 minutes when he was a kid, and he was rather formidable. So, I'm sure that's something he remembers. A lot of us, we remember it too. And it's great to see him in the uniform, man. It's great to see him in the uniform. I'm excited about Luka Doncic, about as excited as I've been about anybody who's ever put on this uniform. I respect him about as much as anybody who's ever put on this uniform as pertains to his talent. And I have expectations for him winning a championship or more in this uniform, especially since he's coming here at 25. You know what I mean? But he's going to have to take care of his body. He's going to have to, learn what this Laker culture thing is about and the expectations and how we do hang our hat on every play. And he just be himself, man. Be himself. My sister, my great sister Sarah, told me that she loves his sense of humor. We haven't really seen as much of that, but he's really silly, has a lot of fun. She said she loves that he's taking that to LA so we get to see it as well. She's a Laker fan, but she lives in the Dallas area, so she's been to several Dallas games, seen Luka play many times. And so it's like she's a fan of both the Dallas Mavericks and the Lakers at this point, and her allegiance is to the Lakers. So it's like she's excited. The city of Dallas is miserable, but she's like, he went from one team that I love to the team I love even more. So, you know what I mean? She was telling me, he has a great sense of humor. He doesn't take himself too seriously. And I'm looking forward to seeing him hit some of them trick shots before games, just like Steph Curry likes to do. Luka do the same thing. So we want him to bring that culture. The idea that he doesn't bring a culture or add to the culture, I'm not really sure exactly what Nico was trying to say. But I think the greatness of Luka Doncic is a culture setter. Regardless of what he was trying to say, I think Luka can fit in with the Laker culture and set his own precedent for what he wants it to be going forward. And it's understood that we're going to hand him the torch. I don't know that he's going to overshadow LeBron James, because I don't think that that's actually possible for any one human being. But it's definitely understood that we're going to be giving this to him. And LeBron was more than happy to give it to AD. So I know he's going to be more than happy to pass it on to Luka. You know what I mean? LeBron is very secure in himself in that way. I don't think he's going to be butting heads with the young fella or nothing like that. LeBron has accomplished far too much to even think like that. He's too poised and too intelligent to even act like that. And I think he likes Luka naturally, so I don't perceive that being a thing. Salute the Kobe minute. So I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air. AD was a breath of fresh air. We love bringing in AD. We respected AD. He carried us a lot of times defensively. He just maybe the most talented defensive player we ever had, honestly. And we're going to miss AD a lot. I wish him more than the best in his future endeavors. Um, I made a whole video about my concerns with Dallas today. I got on their case about how they handled Luka, how everything looks. I dedicated an entire video to that. I encourage you guys to check that out if you care. That should be uploaded by now. But yeah, man, it's just one of those situations where I genuinely believe that Anthony Davis is going to be fine wherever he goes, and he's going to win over people wherever he goes, and that the Dallas Maverick fans are going to learn the same thing that we learned, that this is a monster of a basketball player. You know what I mean? We don't know Luka yet. We hear what you tell us about Luka, but we'll see it for ourselves. But as it pertains to Anthony Davis, we know you don't know what you're getting. And if he does what he did for us, for you, you'd be a damn fool not to watch him play basketball, Dallas. Just gonna put that out there. Damn fool. So that's genuinely what I want to see. I hope that they can heal and support their Dallas Maverick team, because they got a couple of our guys over there. We're going to support their guy over here. We respect that he started his career there, and you guys love him more than anything in the world. And we're gonna root for him. We're gonna root for him, and we're gonna have you in mind. When he wins here, we're definitely gonna have you in mind, man. It's gonna be a lot of solidarity and respect. I know it's gonna be a lot of fans coming over from Dallas. They mad at him, mad at the Dallas Mavericks, but love Luka, so they hopping on the bandwagon. Hey, man, this is what we used to. You know, welcome to the family, because we did the same thing with LeBron James. So it ain't gonna be nothing to welcome the bandwagoners in for Luka the Don, man. We know y'all been rolling with Dallas for a while, but some of y'all just not gonna do it no more, and that's perfectly fine, man. So that's what it is. I don't particularly have bad thoughts about Luka fans. You know, welcome to it, and we want to win. We want to win multiple championships. We want your guy to win multiple MVPs. It's been a long time since we had an MVP in this uniform. You know, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Bron wasn't able to win one. AD wasn't able to win one in this uniform. Luka the Don can definitely win an MVP in this uniform. He can definitely win championships, more than one, in this uniform. His talent, we can win. And so that's what I want people to see and believe. We can win with Luka. I have 100% certainty that his talent level can rise above the fray more than once. And so that's what I want him to know. I think it's going to take some time for us to build what we need to build. I respect that rim protection is what you need out there. And when you finally got it, you were in the finals. And until you get it, you may not have the greatest team. And so hopefully Rob Pelinka over the next 2 years can get us some viable rim protectors. And once we have that, then we're just going to watch you work. That's how I feel. We're going to watch you and Bron work. Two of the greatest players God ever created. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. I'm the more I think about this, for us, the more excited I am. I'm happy Bron wants to be a part of it. I don't particularly want to throw Luka to the Wolves in a rebuilding situation and tell him to just go to work, especially when he does have to get in shape over the next several years, and it's going to take some time for him to get that type of conditioning habits. It ain't just about losing weight. It's about having it in your head that you're going to stay off of the patterns that bring you into a space where you're not in shape. Learning to love that conditioning and love what it feels like when you're in shape in a different way, and what it can bring to you. The expectations of being an LA Laker, for which are already placed ahead of you before you got here. So some of that stuff that you did in Dallas, you thought you were getting hell for it there, you're going to get real hell for it here. So that's something Luka going to understand quickly. LA, I don't know how Dallas move, but believe me, you come in here drinking beers and all that, you're going to hear from everybody, and it's going to be a lot of celebrities looking for you to be your best. You're probably going to hear from them too. So, you know, he's going to have a support system here, man. I'm sure he had one in Dallas, but it's going to be different in LA. You got people all over the world that love the Lakers, and they're passionate about the Lakers as I am. So he just expanded his everything by putting on this uniform. And I know that doesn't make up for the hurt that comes from losing, what you lost there with Dallas. But you come here, you're going to make up every coin. You're going to win more championships, and you're going to have a bigger fan base. This is what it is. So, yeah, welcome Luka, man. Welcome Luka. Welcome Maxi Kleber. Welcome back champion Markieff Morris. You know what I'm saying? Very, very happy to have Markieff back. We won a championship with that, brother. And if you win a championship in this uniform, you best believe we ain't forgot you. So that's really what it is, man. That's the video I want to make here. love what I've seen from my Lakers thus far, man. We just got to keep working on building this unit. And when we have it all together, then it's about the talent of the greatness of these players just leading us to victory. And I have faith that they're going to do that. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching.